Welcome to the Monterey County Office of Education's Professional Development Training, brought to you by Foster Youth Services. We are here to offer educational support for students in foster care. The Foster Youth Services Coordinating Program is a program offered by the Monterey County Office of Education, designed to serve the unique needs of children and youth placed in foster care. National and statewide research shows that a high percentage of children who are removed from their homes and placed in the foster care system experience both short and long-term challenges in school. Traumatic histories of abuse and neglect, compounded by frequent changes in foster care placements, contribute to issues in the classroom and/or reduce academic achievement. The Foster Youth Services Coordinating Program offers support to foster students and school districts, and to agencies and community-based organizations who work with foster students. Our primary mission is to ensure foster students achieve academic growth and success both in the short term and in the long term. Collaboration with local agencies, organizations, caregivers, court-appointed special advocates, and foster youth is key to ensuring the educational success of all students in foster care. Foster care, also known as out-of-home care, is a temporary service provided by states for children who cannot live with their families. Children in foster care may live with relatives or with unrelated foster parents. Foster care can also refer to a placement setting such as short-term residential treatment programs, residential care facilities, emergency shelters, and supervised independent living. On average, on any given day, there are approximately 400 children in foster care in Monterey County. There are 60,000 children in foster care in the state of California, and there are over 400,000 children in foster care in the United States. Monterey County Family and Children's Services offers child protective services, foster care services, and adoption services for children and youth in Monterey County. The mission of the Family and Children's Services is to prevent the occurrence of child abuse and neglect. Service goals strive to keep children and youth safe and within the protection of a permanent family. Of the approximately 400 children in foster care in Monterey County, over 7% are under the age of 1. Just under 25% are between the ages of 1 and 5. Close to 20% are between the ages of 6 and 10. Over 21% are between the ages of 11 and 15. Just over 11% are 16 or 17. And 15.5% are over the age of 18. Children with a history of trauma may experience behavior issues in the classroom, resulting in increased suspension and expulsion rates, and may increase chronic absenteeism as well. Additionally, academic outcomes may be affected as well, resulting in lower test scores, lower graduation rates, and a lower rate of transition to college. How are foster children in California doing? Here are some examples of chronic absenteeism rates. Here's an example of the suspension rate. And here are the graduation rates. How can you support children in foster care to ensure their educational success? Foster Youth Services welcomes you to the following section. Brought to you by Foster Youth Services.
AB 167-216, qualifying for minimum graduation requirements. Who is eligible? Foster students under AB 167 and 216, migrant students and newcomer students under AB 2121, homeless students under AB 1806, former juvenile court school students under AB 2306, and students of military families under AB 365. What is the law? Ed Code 51225.1 allows an LEA to exempt eligible students who transfer between schools at any time after the completion of the pupil's second year of high school, or a pupil participating in a newcomer program and who is in their third or fourth year of high school, from all coursework and other requirements adopted by the governing body that are in addition to the statewide coursework requirements. In order to be eligible, it must be unreasonable for the pupil to make up their credit deficiency by the end of the student's fourth year of high school. If it's reasonable for the student to make up the credits, they're not eligible for the waiver. Ed Code 51225.2 defines the eligibility categories. LEAs may not require an eligible student to retake a course they've completed elsewhere, or if they've completed a portion of a course, cannot require the student to retake the entire course unless, in consultation with the ed rights holder, they determine the student can complete it in a reasonable time in order to graduate. Requirements of high schools. Within 30 calendar days of the date that the student transfers into a school, the school shall notify the student, parent guardian, and any other professional of concern to the student, such as a social worker or probation officer, of the exemption and whether the student qualifies for an exemption. Timelines for qualifications and notifications. Determine what students are eligible for the exemption. Determine if the students that are eligible can reasonably complete the local graduation requirements. Meet with the student and parent guardian to discuss the options available to them based on their eligibility. If the school fails to provide timely notice, the student shall be eligible for the exemption from the local graduation requirements, even if the student is no longer in the category of eligible students. The school will complete a transcript evaluation on the student to determine how many credits the student currently has and how many credits the student needs in order to graduate under the local graduation requirements. If the student is credit deficient, a conversation between the school, educational rights holder, and the student will take place to determine if it's reasonable for the student to make up the credits they are deficient in. If it's determined that it is unreasonable for the student to make up the credits, the waiver can be signed and put into place. If a student graduates with the waiver in place, in most circumstances they will not be able to enroll into a 4-year university directly from high school. They are eligible to enroll into a community college. If implemented, the waiver cannot be revoked by an LEA. The waiver will transfer with the student should the student change schools in the state of California. The educational rights holder must be in agreement with implementing the waiver. The waiver cannot be used in order for a student to graduate early. Rather, the waiver is implemented to allow a student to graduate on time with their cohort. Schools will place the waiver in the student's cumulative file. The credits on the student's transcript will be changed to 130. A regular diploma is issued. Test your knowledge. Susie is a foster student who has moved twice her senior year, changing schools in the process. She's behind in her credits and in community service hours due to her frequent school changes. Is she eligible for the waiver? Yes. Sam was in foster care during his 9th grade year, but his dependency case closed in September of his 10th grade year. Sam moved into an alternative education setting his 11th grade year because he wants to earn credits faster and graduate early. Is he eligible for the waiver? No, Sam is not eligible for the waiver. Best practices. Ensure you're checking the status of students as they transfer into your school site. The waiver is not to be used as a tool for a student to graduate early, rather it's to ensure students are graduating on time with their cohorts. The Monterey County Office of Education Foster Youth Services Program thanks you for your support.